YouTube, welcome into the live stream here at twitch.tv/Dioko. Really quickly, we're going to discuss the basics to gathering ethereal dust. All right, to recap from yesterday, your basic harvesting tools that you're going to use and going to need to farm ethereal dust are axes for trees, hammers for stone, and then picks for ore. And then lastly, skinning knives, which actually we'll cover in the next episode. So make sure you have all those tools ready and at your disposal. All right. So the basics to gathering ethereal dust. When you start out, virtually you're going to have a big fat 0% chance to obtain dust. All right. But the good news is we can fix that. So first things first, we're going to go to the character menu. We're going to go to details down here at the bottom. Come over to the explore tab. And then finally, we're going to scroll down to the bonus yield per stage. Okay. So right now, as you can see, there's a lot of numbers. Okay. Fortunately, I've already increased my gaining of the dust via some of the buffs that we're going to talk about. Some of those are skills, some of those are disciplines, as we're going to discuss. Okay, so we must utilize mainly two things to start out: ethereal sight discipline and the plethora of dust potions to buff the drop rate as well. So how do we do that? Let's get into it. All right, as we discussed yesterday in crafting, what we're going to do is we're going to pop open our crafting menu. We're going to come down here to basic ritual, where we can see ethereal sight. Now, as you can see, it's going to take 2 slag, 2 cobblestone, and 2 knotwood. Fortunately, we have all that, so we're just going to simply right-click to get it in there and click assemble. Okay, once we assemble it, we're going to make the item. And then what we're going to do is we're simply going to pick it up and drag it into the discipline slot. Now I already have it, as you can see there, and it was telling me it must be empty first. Well, I've already got it, so I don't need to empty it. Now, one thing to note that is super important about the ethereal sight discipline is you have a passive right here. It's called ethereal sight. If ethereal sight is not loaded into your survival tray, you will not receive the 5% passive bonus. Okay, so let me say that again. If you do not load this into your survival tray, you will not receive the 5% bonus. Okay? Now, that's the basics on how to equip the ethereal sight discipline. Moving on, plethora of dust potions are actually a consumable that you can use in order to increase your ethereal sight by another 5% for 10 minutes. Okay, so again, we're going to open the crafting menu by pressing J. We're going to come down here to basic alchemy. We're going to click the basic plethora of dust potion. We're then going to slide in our cobblestone, our slag, and our knotwood, and again, click assemble. Once we wait for that to finish, which takes about 18 to 20 seconds, we'll then loot that, and I'll show you what we're going to do next. Now, make sure when you guys get these plethora of dust potions, you have 10 minutes. So you want to make sure you utilize the full duration of the buff in order to maximize how much dust you get. So make sure you have your tools, you have enough resources around you to actually gather from, whether it be the trees, the ore, or the cobblestone, and really make sure you're just in a good place to do that. Now, as you can see here, let's go back over to our bonus yield per stage thing right here. And what we're going to do is we're actually going to drink this potion. I'm going to show you how it changes. So, for example, let's look at just basic stuff like slag. Okay, you can see it says 5% right here. If you hover over it, you can see the cap is at 75. We're currently at 5. So we're going to drink this. Okay, we're going to move a little bit because it takes some movement to change that. And then now we come back over here and you can see it's increased by 5%. If you notice up here in the top right hand corner, you can actually see basic plethora of dust with a timer next to it. That tells you that you're inside that 10-minute window. Okay. Now, another aspect of this, which we'll get more into later, but skills can further increase plethora of dust drop rate. The few examples of such are this. So let's open up our skill menu real quick, and we're going to show you from the exploration tree, just really briefly, a couple things. Right here you can see we've increased our plethora of dust basic resources by 5%. If we continue on down the tree into reaping, you can see we have some other optional nodes in here as well. The plethora of dust wood, and again the exceptional plethora of dust wood. And then finally, when we look at the wood specialization, there are several in here as well. You can see we've got plethora of dust oak, and it's actually per individual type of trees, so you get an additional percentage per the trees. We're basically dealing with the basics right now. So your knotwood, your cobblestone, and your slag. Those are the three things that we're focusing on with this video. Okay. One other tip is you can use your Eternal Kingdom, aka your EK, which you may hear in game or around the community quite often, to farm the ethereal dust and then put it in your spirit bank without actually having to take your import and export away from the bank. So just a little tip to keep in mind there, and we'll cover Ethereal Kingdom or Eternal Kingdoms, excuse me, in a later video. So just so you guys know, the next lesson we're going to cover is how to farm leather hide from boars. We'll cover that tomorrow night on the live stream. But again, thank you guys for tuning in. Be sure to leave your comments down below. Check out the description for the notes from this video, and hope to catch you on the live stream over at twitch.tv/Dioko. Thanks, guys.